Teams have landed for week 1 of the Pacific Championships. Kangaroos taking on the Tongan side. This is a danger game. Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, 8:10 p.m. I'll go through the Tongan side, Missile.
All right.
Lehigh Hopewadi fullback. Daniel Tupu this, and Sione Katoa on the wing. Moses Suli, Paul Alamotti in the centres. Happy with it so far? You don't love it?
No, don't love it.
Tui Lolahia, they reckon he's been slaying him over there in the Super League. Isaiah Katoa, the halfback. This pack, what about this pack? Adnan Fanua-Blake, Havili, Felice Kafusi, Hamoli Olakawatu, Eli Katoa, Jason Taumalolo.
Yeah, it's a great pack. Plus Satili, Tupanua, Paseka and Kaloa Matongi on the bench.
Correct.
That's a great forward pack. The spine is super weak.
Are you shocked that Tolotau Kola is not in the 18? Not in the 17. He's the 18th man.
Yeah, that's probably harsh. I think at international level, I'd probably start him at fullback over young Lehigh. Let Lehigh cut his teeth on the wing or on the bench. But it's a massive opportunity for Lehigh as well to play Australia at 18 years of age. 19.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. But both Moses Suli and Alamotti ahead at this stage of Tolotau Kola, according to the Tongan side. That's how that's sort of all shaping up for them. And look, Fina Fawaki, he's on an extended bench as well. So he doesn't even make, Siwa Wong doesn't make the side. So they have a stacked side, a very, very good side, the Tongan side. Australia, fullback Dylan Edwards, the wingers, Xavier Coates and our man Zach Lomax. We had him on last week. So if you want to catch up on the podcast, that'll be waiting for you there. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow in the centres with Tommy Turbo. Do we like that back five, Bissol?
Yeah, that's a great back five. Provided Tommy's firing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tommy Dearden. Who would have picked this half pairing at the start of the year? Tom Dearden with Mitch Moses.
Strange one, but based on the team they selected, that was always going to be the case, based on the squad.
Up front, Carrigan, Grant, Lindsay Collins. The back row, Angus Crichton, Cameron Murray, Isaiah Yeo. The bench, Matt Burton earns a spot in the side. Mitch Barnett, what a season he's had. Ruben Cotter and Hudson Young. Ben Hunt misses out. Lindsay Smith, Reece Robson, Bradman Best. Do you think it's happy with the side?
Yeah, happy with the side. Australia 13 plus.
Ooh, okay.
20. Actually, I'll go one step further. 20 plus.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. The knock on these sides, and it happens every time. Samoa and Tonga put out great rosters every time, but they got no spines. Their spine of Lehigh Hopewadi, Tui Loahea, Isaiah Katoa, and Sevilla Havili wouldn't start for most first-grade sides, for most NRL sides.
Okay. I just think there's a lot of passion there, and we'll see how that plays out. And by the way, the Fiji Barty take on the PNG Kumals. Now, there was some talk around, I think it was Crazy Rugby League Facts, who said there's a 3-week suspension for Api Coruscant, or 3-game suspension, I think, for Api Coruscant. Is that right? So which happened against Parramatta, I think you'll find.
Yeah, spoon bowl.
So he's going to miss 2 of these games for Fiji, which he would have been in, no doubt about that. So there's 2 of them. But if they happen to win their part of the series, they get to take on the third-place team out of the top portion. So there would be the 3 games, which would make him fit for round 1 and ready to go, available for round 1.
So Tigers fans cheer for Fiji.
Correct, Mundo. Tigers fans cheer from anyway because your fullback's going to be there. Sunya Taruva. He'll be playing on the wing most likely there. Sunya Taruva, Micah Sivo, Michael Jennings, Wanga Blake. We saw that Jared Hayne is being involved as a coach for that side. Who else is Tui Kamikamitha? They're probably Viliame Kikau. They're the biggest names for that side. Jack DeBellin playing for PNG. Reece Martin back from the Super League. He's the captain for PNG. Lockie Lamb, he's playing in the halfback position. So there's some good players there as well. Nene McDonald, the fullback, but they're up against it. I think Fiji might have the edge in that particular game, Missile. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you. Big names littered throughout that Fiji side. That'll be a pretty solid game, though. There's a lot of first-grade experience in both sides. Yeah,
absolutely. In the women's side of the draw, Gillaroos take on the PNG Orchids, which that's going to be a tough assignment because the Prime Minister's 13 side in the women's flogged the PNG Orchids 50 block. Now they're taking on the Gillaroos. So this is a big challenge, that's for sure. You've got Tonga 13 taking on Fetu Samoa. That'll be a big game. I think Jamie Soward might have the reins for the Fetu Samoa side. That's happening on Saturday. That's how that's playing out, and that's how that will be. 1300 01 1170. Oh, it looks as though they're playing 2 games. In fact, no, they're not. No, they're talking about the It's not, in fact, ignore that. 1300 01 1170. Gentlemen, what do you think of the teams? Tourists, you like it?
Tom Dearden and Mitch Moses. I love Mitch Moses, but is that the best half pairing we have in Australia? Is it? Like, if we're being honest to ourselves?
I truly think Daly Cherry Evans has been significantly hard done by. I really do. You think about it, he dragged them off the canvas to beat Canterbury. He's just a player. I think he's been terribly hard done by.
Over which one of those two, though?
I'd say Mitch Moses at this stage, who hasn't played for so long. Honestly, I think he's been. I know Teddy's been. Well, I don't think he's been hard done by.
The only thing is Mitch outperformed Daly in game 2 and 3 of Origin.
Yeah, but different teams around you as well.
Yeah, fair.
Different teams. I just think he's been terribly hard done by. Hasn't played for a long time. Daly has really never let the side down. So, but in saying that, they got beat 30-blot against New Zealand last year, so maybe they've called for huge turnarounds there, Brooksy.
Yeah, I think he's rewarded 2 players that played well in Origin. Tommy Dearden was good.
Oh, Tommy Dearden's a gun.
He was awesome. And you can tell by the squad that he's going a bit younger and seeing the Pac Championships as an opportunity to bring in the new generation or the younger generation, like Ben Hunt's the 18th man. So he's probably brought him in as a replacement / experience person to have in the squad and around training, just to get these guys who haven't played too much for the Kangaroos, a bit of experience, and this is what it's about. This is what the green and gold jersey's about.
Okay, let me ask you this then, gents. Would you prefer to have, it's a loaded question because I've got my view, would you prefer to have Daly Cherry Evans at halfback, Mitch Moses at 6 and Tom Dearden at 14, or what we've got there, which is Burton at 14, Dearden and Moses?
I prefer this one.
You prefer that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just the knock on Daly is simple. He's 35 and he's probably run his course for the Australian team. That'd surely be Mal's thinking. He's starting to rebuild a new Aussie squad after they got beat 30-blot by New Zealand. I just, how many players from this side would have been in that 30-blot game? So Edwards was on the wing. Carrigan and Collins, I think, were there. Grant was there. Cam Murray, maybe. Isaiah Yeo, maybe. Not many.
Not many. Okay.
Well, I think that's too coming up, like in a few years. So you sort of want to build towards that and go, who are the guys that are going to be there?
Yeah, fair enough.
Cherry might not be there for that.
No, well, he probably won't.
Nah.
Anyway, Kangaroos and Tonga, last time they played, boys, was 6 years ago. 6 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, 6 years ago.
What was the result on that day?
34-16 to Australia.
Yeah.
Val Holmes, Tommy Turbo, they scored twice. DCE and Tedesco also scored for Tonga. Solomon Okata, remember him?
Yep, had the ponytail.
Yep. Tavita Pangai Jr., Daniel Tupu scored. And Tonga back then were coached by Christian Wolf, captained by Sikamanu. And James Tedesco got sent to the bin in that game. So there you go. Fiji versus Papua New Guinea. That game on Saturday, HFC Bank Stadium in Suva. Reckon they get a good crowd of that, wouldn't they? Over there.
Yeah, they got a good crowd at the Storm pre-season game. And I think they're building there in Fiji in terms of crowds. Like I remember a few years ago, it hasn't been the best turn-ups.
Yep.
But I think it'll be near sellout there.
Good.
There's the Fijian team in the Ron Massey Cup, isn't there?
Yeah, the Silktails.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, they played twice last year and both spanked each other. 43 points to 16 for Fiji. That was followed by 32 to 12 for Papua New Guinea. So both very comfortable winners there. Now, this is the thing, right? So Christchurch sold out 2 weeks out from the game. This is according to NewZealandRugbyLeague.co.nz. The Kiwis and Kiwi Ferns have sold out Apollo Project Stadium in Christchurch 2 weeks out from the Labour weekend matches against Australia. Fresh off the Warriors selling out their whole regular season, it's the first time that has occurred in Premiership history. Should we be looking for a second New Zealand team sooner rather than later? Now, the question is, if that's the case, if the Western Bears do get up, then who's the other one? Is there another Queensland side? PNG, of course, are in the mix as well. So if there's only 3 seats for 4, and if those 4 are Perth, New Zealand, a second side, another Queensland side, or PNG, who misses out?
No, the Queensland side.
The Queensland side. What do you think, Brooks?
It's a really tough one because I was thinking about it. They're not going to go to 22 anytime soon, right?
No.
So these next 3 teams, you have to be pretty solid with where you want them to be, and you've got this decision. If PNG's a foregone conclusion because of the government influence,
which it is, you can tell that is.
and the Perth Bears seems like they just got to go back to the negotiating table to work out the dosh from the government. So that's two, and you've got two areas that can probably sustain a club in second New Zealand. Like, I'd be going Brisbane, but the last few years
third
New
team in
Zealand,
Brisbane.
yeah. I think the second New Zealand team is making a massive case. With the Warriors selling out a full season, the game's growing. You want to sort of also leverage off the fact that rugby as an entertainment sport is dropping. Like the interest, I think the Bledisloe is, they need to improve that because Super Rugby's not growing. Like it's dominated by New Zealand. So this is an opportunity where they go, do we want to go to Brisbane that can definitely have another team and create this triangle of rivalry, or do we want to go to another country who's frothing for rugby league at the moment and turn all these extra people as fans into rugby league and then potentially a third Brisbane team comes in 10, 20 years' time?
I'm fascinated by I'm really fascinated by how that plays out. I don't think you should take another team to Queensland right now with the Dolphins, the Broncos, and the Gold Coast Titans. I think it's a bit taking Sandal Beach. Whereas
until one of those clubs is winning and dominating, at least.
Yeah.
Like until Gold Coast or Dolphins have done something in the NRL, I don't think it justifies taking a team there. I'm of the same belief actually with New Zealand. I would be waiting until the Warriors are definitely set. So we're saying New Zealand's flying. They had a good year last year, rugby league-wise. They had a good year this year, crowd-wise.
Yep.
Until they match up the two or get some sort of consistency, I'd kind of be keeping my powder dry in New Zealand because they've never won a comp. They actually haven't been that great at bringing through the younger talent to their own Warriors side. Like they've got 5 million people. They've got an entire country to draw from. And most of their best youngsters actually come through the Australian pathways. So I'd be waiting until that's really like solidified. They should be a Melbourne Storm, right? Like one team for an entire country. They should be a Melbourne Storm, but they don't have the administration. New Zealand Rugby League has been shown to be a bit of a shambles at times as well. So until that's in order, I wouldn't be going back there, I don't think.
And other NRL teams have seen that as an opportunity to go get juniors. I know the Sharkies were down in Christchurch quite a bit a fair few seasons ago. Melbourne Storm have tapped into that
Bulldogs
market.
have pathways there right now.
Yeah, so that's the disadvantage too, because these teams have seen it as an opportunity to go over and be able to.
But I mean, the same way, the
system.
Warriors could have some pathways to Western Sydney, right? But their organisation is not forward-thinking enough. Like the reason, I'll just talk about the Bulldogs because I know the workings of it. Gus has set up a pathway in New Zealand for young players to come across, live in Australia, do all that stuff. Just because there's pathways going one way doesn't mean it can't go the other. New Zealand could set up pathways for Australian kids to come across and play in New Zealand. It's exactly the same scenario. But we're poaching their talent because they're not bringing them through to NRL level and they're missing so many of them on the way through.
Tell you what they've done cleverly too, the Bulldogs. They got a lot of Kiwi girls to play for their Lisa Fiola side, and they won some games 94-0. They were smashing sides, absolutely smashing sides. So there's both sides of the coin there as well. Now, Nathan Cleary makes a push for the World Club Challenge at Magic Round, posting on Instagram, congratulating Wigan on their win at the weekend. Cleary posted, would love to play the World Club Challenge at Magic Round next year. I understand the logistics of getting the game on would be difficult, but I think it could be a great spectacle. Coming up later, Wigan CEO Chris Radlinski. What do you think about that?
Is that our Magic Round or theirs?
Our Magic Round.
Our Magic Round.
Which it is their turn to come, because we were there last year prior they came out to Penrith.
Yeah.
What do you think about Magic Round? So therefore, they'd have to request the bye. But what they would also do in the current situation is that means that no NRL teams would miss out that round.
That's good.
So no one will be left home.
Look, it's Nathan Cleary. He's a smart man. I don't hate it. If they're willing to play a game that round and then only have 2 byes all year, you're up against it then.
But what I also, that's right. But what I do like about it is it's not at the start of the year where it's like a trial.
Yeah.
Teams are in their click by then.
Yeah, Panthers would spank them in that scenario.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But you never know. We'll speak to Chris Radlinski. Is that a doer? He wants to make it happen, but then that depends largely on what are the Super League going to do. So anyway, have your say. 1300 01 1170 or text on the open line. It is the right tool for the job via the Cyclone Tools. New Zealand audience, 8833 is the way to do that. I think Kiwi time zone is better for Eastern States too. Also grow in New Zealand as many matches are 10 p.m. for our 8 p.m. kickoff, says 386. Crawl says this, boys, stop all this jibber jabber, get to the important stuff. Where is Tootsie? Oh, he's not far away, mate. He's not too far away.
Get your betting accounts ready.
Yeah, get them ready, responsibly, of course. Sugar, Cleary is spoken about as one of the best halfbacks ever, yet he has never dominated Origin. Moses absolutely dominated Origin and owned game 2 and 3. Chris writes that, CS7, whereas DC has clearly, and I agree with that. However, Cleary's time is coming. There is no doubt about that. What is he, 25? He's 25. His time's coming, don't you worry about that. So I think when Mitchell Moses dominated at Origin, he certainly wasn't 25. 1300 01 1170. This one here says you got it wrong. Maybe check this one, boys. Is there a protest?
Yeah, it's protest on me. I'm going to either put the... There was a Tonga Invitational versus Australia, which was in the website I went to, was different from Tonga versus Australia. Hence, that's why I missed the Tonga Invitational.
So are we saying correct, Wade?
Correct. They won 26. They won in 2019, 16-12.
16-12, 16-12. Gee, there's a lot coming through here, tourist. Protest upheld, folks. You've got it right there here on the Run Home with Joel and the Missile. Have your say for the Cyclone Tools. Call on 1300 01 1170. The right tool for the job. Plenty more still to come, and there's a bit of golf news coming up after this as well.